another powerful episode of AIBiz, the podcast where we talk about the real success, sustainable growth, and building a life that aligns with your values. Now, let me ask you something, dear listeners. What really makes a business successful? Not just in the short term, but for decades. And how do some entrepreneurs build companies that thrive, like while others burn out or fade away? And what if building a business wasn't just about the strategy, but about empathy, honesty, and love? So today's guest brings all of that and more. So please welcome Kristin Zhivago. So welcome to the show, Kristin.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, before we delve deep into the conversation today, I'll quickly love to introduce you to Kristin. So, Kristin is a revenue coach, marketing turnaround expert, and the author of the five-star book Roadmap to Revenue: How to Sell the Way Your Customers Want to Buy. So she has spent years in the trenches with hundreds of CEOs and entrepreneurs, like from small startups to billion-dollar giants. She's also the founder of Zhivago Partners, a full-service digital marketing agency that knows how to deliver what customers actually want. So, but Christine's real magic. So she's the part business strategist, part psychologist, and full on customer whisperer. So she's helped companies sell more by listening better, build loyalty by leading with love, and grow sustainably by understanding the people behind the purchase. So, this episode is a masterclass in how to build a business that works and actually lasts. So, let's jump in. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks. That was a really good intro. I wrote some of those down.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the foundation of lasting success. So, you have worked with so many businesses at different stages of the growth. So, what's the first principle? Uh, every entrepreneur needs to understand, like, if they want to build something that lasts. What do you say?
The first principle is actually two pieces. One is the money comes from customers.
Yeah.
and, and when we get so distracted by the latest tech shiny object, I've been in tech for decades and seen a lot of shiny objects. AI is the biggest one I've ever seen. And it's massively affecting in whole industries are being wiped out or shifted. So we're in a very interesting time, very challenging time. So that's the first thing is just remembering and not letting yourself forget
Mm,
that the money comes from customers. And that's true even when you're trying to sell to investors. When you're trying to sell to investors, um, you start spending more time selling to them than helping your customers. So
yeah.
that's the first thing. Don't lose sight of that. The second thing that goes with that is customers know when they're being loved. Okay. And my definition of love, I was married happily for 45 years. My husband died of
Mm,
cancer, but um, we were best friends and in love until the very last day. And the reason and the way we pulled that off is we took care of each other. That's what love
yeah.
is. You take care of the other person and you don't draw lines and you don't keep score and you don't say, "Oh, if he ever does that, I'll never, I'll leave or whatever." You just have committed yourself and you
Mhm.
stick with it and you work things out. And you don't give up anything for the other person. It's a
Mm,
joint effort. So it's always the two of you doing the
mm,
domestic coordination and making sure that you respect each other's thoughts and concerns. And then you work out a solution that's good for both of you. Nobody should be giving in to the other person.
right.
So you don't lose yourself in a good marriage or a good relationship. So part of taking care of other people is having the kind of character that makes that person want to stay with you and be with you. And the same basic principle applies to companies. All of us know when we're being cared for and when we're not. And when we're not, we leave. As customers, we can do that. We're not committed. There's no such thing as a customer relationship, contrary to massive amounts of money put into that.
Mm,
Nobody wants the car dealer showing up for dinner. That's not why you shop. That's not why you buy things. You're not making friends. You're satisfying a need or a desire. You're solving a problem. So you, as the business owner and an expert in a certain area, needs to
mhm.
be the best at solving that problem.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And okay, so like, was there a moment early in your career that made this truth crystal clear for you?
Yep. I was 17 years old. I was still in high school. And, when you're a senior in high school, you have a very high opinion of yourself. You're at the top of the heap until you go to college and end up at the bottom of the heap again and start in the business world and all that. But I think I was the first woman to sell machine shop tools in the United States. The distributor, the Pratt& and Whitney distributor, gave me a Pratt& and Whitney catalog and said, "Here, you're wearing a mini skirt. You're definitely gonna make them wanna see what you're doing because I was the first woman. And here's a catalog, go sell." So I did. And he told me I'd make 3,000 a week. So I was dreaming about buying a new car and all that. I barely made enough for my gas, first of all. But the real moment was when I walked into a small machine shop in the San Diego equivalent of Silicon Valley. And the old foreman came out and he said, "Why are you here, honey?" That's how they talked to people back then. And all these guys from the machine shop came out and looked around his shoulder like, "Who's she? Why is she here?" And I said, "I'm here to talk about Pratt& and Whitney machine shop tools." And he said, "Okay, why is your drill bit better than the one I'm using now?"
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer. And I was ashamed, I was embarrassed. And when you're a senior in high school and you get embarrassed, it really sticks in your mind.
Yeah.
So I walked back out to the parking lot because I couldn't answer his question. And I said to myself, I'm going to learn everything I can about tech and selling. And I've been doing it ever since. Now, there was one other aha moment, which was
Yeah.
all the people I was helping, I would ask them, my clients, when I first started working with them, "What do you think is important to your customers?" And they would tell me, "Be a list." And then I'd go out and interview their customers, and the list
Mm,
was always different.
mm,
And that's when I realized there was a gap between how the seller looked at their product and
mm,
service and how the customer looked at it, talked about it, what they wanted, what their mindset was when they
mm,
set out to buy. And that's been driving me ever since. It's really, really hard
mm,
for people to stop what they're doing and interview their customers, not a survey. That's silly. Not focus groups, those are out of date anyway. You get on the phone, have a conversation with them,
mm,
and usually hire somebody who understands your business but isn't part of the business because they'll be more polite when they talk to you,
mm,
believe it or not. They won't tell you the whole truth.
mm,
And you ask open-ended questions. They're in chapter 3 of my book. I gave away all my secrets in that book. And the only thing that's really changed since I wrote it is that we now have Zoom for the calls, and
mm,
we can use AI for a lot of other types of research, like market research. But you ask these open-ended questions and they answer them. And your goal is to find out what their mindset was when they set out to buy. And I'll say one more thing about that. Your mindset is the desires, the customer's mindset is the desires, the concerns, and questions that they have. And if you satisfy those three things, your chances of making the sale are very good. But they're very specific and you
mm.
can't guess. You can't assume. You will be wrong. and you won't have the exact words that they would use, not marketing talk, but the real words that they would use if they were talking about you when you weren't in the room. You just have to do it, and then you can decide which channels you wanna do, what your message should be, what your branding should be. All of that comes all the promises that you make to your customers come after you know what
Mm.
promises they want you to keep.
Exactly. Wow. Amazing. And like business is about love, right? So uh you have said something so powerful. I really love that. I mean, because I mean, it's like business is not about greed, it's about love.
Mhm.
So if you can also unpack that for us, like especially for the ambitious leaders who is listening, who have been uh, told to focus on the hustle, not heart. So yeah.
Oh, that's good, I like that.
uh,
Mm. Yeah, all the really successful business people in movies are jerks.
mm,
I avoid jerks like the plague. I don't work with jerks. I don't have any jerks on my staff, and I have no jerk clients. And if somebody starts out being okay, but they turn into a jerk, I let them
mm,
go.
mm,
Jerks are simply people who make it more difficult for other people. That's it. I don't care why, I don't care how, it doesn't matter.
mm,
That's their game.
yeah.
Nice people try to make things easier for other people. Fortunately, most of the world is made up of nice people, kind people.
Mm,
So, in my corporate life, when I was turning around big company marketing and sales departments, it looked like maybe 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 people were jerks.
mm,
It's a little higher in the corporate world because you
mm,
can, excuse my language, kiss up and piss down,
mm,
and bosses don't know that you're doing that bad stuff to the other people. They only see you being nice to them. And so those people go up the ladder, and it's really bad. It's a poison in the company. So, as a leader of a company, you have to figure out which people are making it harder for other people to do their work. Because,
mm,
by the way, the nice people won't complain. So, you kind of have to watch for the little signs that somebody's making it harder for everybody else.
mm,
And you have to get rid of that person. They can
mm,
go work for somebody else. You just don't want to poison your organization with that kind of energy.
exactly.
Yeah. So, love is taking care of people, and the
Mm,
people you need to take care of are your customers, of course, your staff, your employees, workers, contractors, and your partners. You have to figure out what they need and
mm,
how you can give it to them. It's that simple.
mm. No, that's lovely. I mean, very well said. I mean, I won't use the word, but definitely, uh, it's very important that you keep aside from those who doesn't match with the criterias. So, yeah, and yeah, lovely. And also, I mean, that's the kind of leadership that creates the legacies. So,
Mhm.
love is not the what to say. Love is not about this soft. It's strong. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, it's what keeps a business rooted. So, yeah,
Yeah, actually one of the hardest things you can do in your life is love somebody.
yeah.
I mean, my husband got cancer twice. We made it through the first one. He had a 5% chance. It was very
Mhm,
hard. We made it through, and then we had a 48-foot catamaran built in South Africa and sailed it home together. I mean, he was ready to do other things than wait for me to retire, which probably isn't gonna
mhm,
happen. And, then he couldn't beat the second one. So, it was a very tough thing to do, and it's easy to say, "I can't do anymore, I'm totally worn out." And if you just realize that you've gotten to the end of your rope, I personally reach up to heaven and get the inspiration or the energy that I need. I've had that happen a number of
mhm,
times. And you just take care of the other person no matter what.
mhm.
and they have to not be a jerk. You
Right.
have to pick the right person in the first place. And if you did marry a jerk, you really do have to go away because they don't usually change.
Mm,
Actually, I should say this one thing: jerks are jerks because
mm,
sometime in their early life, they decided that's how they're gonna get through life. They were bullied or some everybody's bullied. Everybody thinks that's not true, but it is true.
mm,
Everybody's bullied. And you have to decide if you're going to give up being a nice person and just be a jerk to stop them from doing that,
mm,
or if you're going to take a higher road. That's a
mm,
decision that you make. So jerks know that they're jerks. They know they made that decision.
mm.
I have a jerk test and I can't tell you because it'll give it away, but I have a way of figuring out if somebody's
Yeah.
a jerk or not in about the first 3 minutes of a conversation.
Okay.
And if they don't pass the test, then I don't
Mm,
hire them or take them on as a client.
okay.
There are no jerk babies, I guess is the best way to say it. There are uncomfortable babies and sad
Mhm,
babies, but there are no jerk babies. They it's something they decide.
mm.
Anyway, that's enough about jerks. Success is taking care of
Yeah.
people. My next book, if
Mm,
I ever can finish it, is
mm.
going to be called Love, Leverage, and Logistics: How You and Your Company Can Change the World.
Got it. Got it. That's amazing. And uh, also, like the legacy playbook, right? You have built your own legacy. I mean, your agency basically. So, uh, you have coached the best. You have written the playbook. So, if you had to distill your wisdom into three essential practices, like for building a business that lasts, what would they be?
Well, the first one I've already said, you gotta take care of people. If you don't, they'll
Mhm.
leave. So, that's number 1. Um, and you always have to be thinking about that. You also, especially when you're starting out a business, but even
Mm,
after you've started a business,
mm,
you need to take 10 to 20% of every single payment that comes in
mm,
and put it aside.
mm. Okay.
That's why I live 4 acres on the water and, have a nice house, and I mean, it's just we started doing that from the very beginning, and it's you
Mm,
you do manage to pay your bills with what's left, which is
mm,
what's interesting. And if you do it right away when the money comes in, then it's a lot easier to do that. But you start
mm,
and you put it in something that builds, that gives you interest. Um, in our case, it was mutual funds, and
mm.
I get like an 11% return over
Mm.
all these years. It's a very good way, a very quiet, nice, solid way to invest. Um, so that's the second thing. I guess the third thing is that you do need to stay calm and strong.
Mm,
You you can't be petty. You can't
mhm,
be uh, somebody who keeps score and keeps trying to be better than everybody else, and
mhm,
it's just a waste of time. If you're taking
mm,
care of your customers and your employees and your partners, you don't have to worry about the competition because everything you do will be inspiring people and they would want to work with you. One of my goals in my business life is to make my company a safe place for nice people to work. And I know this feels like, oh, it's so touchy-feely, but it's really it's
mm,
really what drives people to want
mm,
to do business with you. If
mm,
they know that you're gonna take care of them and that you're gonna look out for them. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that.
mm,
There's this famous quote from Jeff Bezos that I've been throwing around lately because I think it's so important. He said that people often ask him what's changing,
mm,
what's different now and so on. And
mm,
he says that's not the right question. The right question is what's staying the same.
mm,
And he's built his whole business and all of his businesses on that one thing. He says, 10 years from now, if I asked people, would you like things more expensive and slower to get to you?
mm,
That wouldn't be their answer. Their answer is, Amazon knows customers want lower prices and faster delivery.
Okay.
And so every decision they make is about that. That's not changing. And that's
Mm,
very comforting when you think about AI. And as I said, I've been in tech for decades. This is the fastest, biggest conceptual tsunami I've ever seen come through the business world. And we're all in beta right now. We are all beta testing AI at the moment
mhm,
and trying to figure out how to make use of this incredible English, speak English to your software and have it give you what you want age that we're in. It's amazing. And whole industries are being wiped out because of it. Programmers and graphic
mm,
designers. And I mean, it's just amazing what's happening.
mm,
And so if you keep coming back to what is it that we do,
mm.
what is the character of what we do? Because AI does not have character. You can try to
Yeah.
teach it character, but character is a real time thing. Character is making hard decisions, telling the truth when it hurts, sticking it out, even though, you're scared that it's gonna change or something. It's
Mhm,
courage and vision. It's all those deep, important things.
mm,
And we have to be careful about what we teach these tools because the servant may become the master at some point.
mm.
And if
Very,
we haven't taught it how to have good character, we're gonna be in big trouble.
mm, very true. Yeah. Lovely. Wow. So, Christine, thank you so much for this incredible conversation. And I have to say that you have reminded us that business is not just about revenue, it's about the relationships, not just about selling, but about serving.
Yeah.
And yeah, and uh, that's what like makes a business not just succeed, but endure. So, to all of you tuning in, if you are building something, dreaming bigger, or trying to figure out like why the numbers are not adding up, then take Christine's advice to heart. Starts with your customer, lead with love, and grow from a place of truth. And Christine, if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the best medium?
Well, you can nobody uses Google anymore, but you can Google Kristin Zhivago and you'll find a lot. Our website is zhivagopartners.com. And there's a lot there. We're starting to do something called a revenue growth audit, where we help companies figure out what the opportunities are and
Mhm.
the barriers to the sale. And it's been very interesting to start doing that kind of work.
Perfect, perfect, lovely. Great. So, dear listeners, what I'll do, I'll put all the links into the show notes for easy reference. And because the business that last are the ones that listen, care, and evolve. So, with this hope, until next time, stay focused, stay kind, and as always, stay healthy in mind and life. So, thank you so much.